Start of any game comes with some character creation. A couple of bits and bobs some people may or may not want to know. Firstly, obviously we can go ahead, we can select our gender here, as well as how muscular you want your character to be. Very nice to see gender just kind of make a return. And then we have preset faces, so everything's pretty simple when it comes to creating how your character wants to look. Objectively, the top right female face is the best one. Just going to throw that out there. The hair is actually gender specific as well, as is everything else. So if you're playing a female character, it's going to look female, and if you're playing a male character, it's going to look male. The game even pokes fun at you with a NPC interaction later on in the game. Go ahead and pick any face demarcations that you like. I'm generally not a fan, although some nice tribal tattoos can look pretty cool on our druidic starting lady right here. It's obviously Andraste 2. Probably can't really keep it for long because we get limited save slots. We have 100 save slots, which is probably enough, but managing 2 characters may be an issue. Pick your difficulty. I believe this can be changed later. I actually haven't tested it. As always, I'll go with normal. And the game's been pretty good on normal. Veterans probably quite tough, and the survival mode pretty brutal. When we wake up in the prison, the options we have with the guard, they are not all that important. So for all that someone's going to be like me and not like this, I'm just here to basically let you know this isn't terribly important. You can stay silent and get no bonuses if you wish to. This is just going to give you a small bonus to a set of skills which are going to go up over time. So if you think about an Elder Scrolls game, as you use certain skills, those skills rise. This is just giving you an early boost to them. This doesn't boost things like attributes. It doesn't lock you into anything at all. So go for the thing that you think you're going to use the most. Of course, if you're playing as a caster, taking that 6 magic that we get right there, it tells you what it does. It's going to slightly increase damage and it's going to reduce mana cost. That's 6 right there. I don't even know if that comes to 1. Go ahead and take it if you wish to. The alchemy though, so skills where you're creating or selling stuff, those things probably are a little bit more valuable than the other stuff. So if we're looking at this, we only get anything like that with the magic start here. Now there is going to be a second screen. We can't go back either. So once you've kind of pressed one, you locked into it and you'll have to reload to look at the next set, which is a little bit jarring. I did try hunting to see if there was like a magical mage type thing, and once you go through, it kind of locks you off. Just bear that in mind when you are doing this. So we go in Ancient Worship here, and then we can basically choose a starting spell as a mage. Blood Transfusion is good because when you hold it down, you can get yourself a heal. The Burning Ember is good because it can set fire, but ultimately you can get both of these spells in the starting dungeon anyway. So we haven't got to worry about which spell we're going to get because we're going to have both. And I do recommend actually using 2 separate spells most of the time. I'm going to do a bit of a build video, probably a couple of videos after this one in the playlist, but basically alternating between 2 spells is something that's really good, whether you're going to go with like pure damage, if you're going to go with elemental, if you're going to go with crit, like all these things, you get bonuses for alternating spells. So it doesn't really matter too much which one we pick, but I think the burn down that tree comes out just ahead for me. Alchemy and cooking, we can get it pretty easy and pretty early, but light armor plus 6, whilst I don't intend to take too much damage, and you can see here what it's doing is it's going to increase the bonus and lower the penalties of having lightweight equipment. Now we're going to go over that in a second just so you guys can see what that means. For being in light, you actually get a bonus to movement, speed, and evasion, and that's generally how I avoid getting hit when I'm playing as a pure caster. I'm going to go with this is probably the better way to go, because that way we have to get hit less for light armor to be rising, as opposed to trying to raise an armor skill by getting hit more when realistically we want to avoid damage as much as we can. So I'm going to suggest burn that tree down. All right, so now that the character's created, I'm now able to show you what I mean by the light arm bonus. Now, this is actually going to get compounded by some skills, which I can't show you right now because we obviously don't have them unlocked. But you can see that I'm in light equip load right there. So if I come over to character and attributes, you'll actually see on the bottom right there, my movement speed modifier is 121%. With lower armor, that would actually be 120% because we're getting a bonus from being in low armor, and that bonus gets better the higher our light armor becomes. Okay, so we're going to get faster, and in addition to that, our evasion distance will continue to be rather nimble. So if you look at this, we make it to the rocks right here. If I add some additional equipment and get to medium, it's barely even half. And let me tell you, that makes a huge difference when you are trying to avoid damage. You can see just how horrible that is. The other thing is that you actually get less dashes. So you can see here, look, that if I do this, we get counter 3. What you'll see is on the bottom left there, we have the boot with the wing on it, and that's how many times we get the full dash. Once it's past that, the dash is much shorter, even if it is still longer than it would be with the heavier armor on. Those extra dashes, which allows us to get out of the way of damage, and further dashes are just so much better as a mage that I don't think they can be overlooked.